The Michael Berry Show.
A month or two ago, I received an email that went thusly. My name is Katherine Mickelis. I'm a sophomore at Richards High School, a 1A school in Richards, Texas. I am proud to call myself the president of the Turning Point USA chapter at our school, as well as an avid Michael Berry Show listener. And we'd be honored to invite you to speak at one of our upcoming events. We admire your work, blah, blah, blah. Our goal is to inspire more students to take an interest in current issues and how they impact our communities and countries, our community and country. Thanks for your time and what you do and these sorts of things. And so I reached out and I said, well, it's hard for me to get out to give speeches, but I'm interested in how a young lady gets involved in such a manner at such an early age. So I invited Katherine on the show, and she is our guest now. Welcome to the program, dear. Oh, sorry. Welcome to the program, dear.
Hi, thank you all so much.
Now, as I understand it, you go to the way your classwork is scheduled, you get Fridays off.
Yes, sir. That's something new that we started this year. We're a very rural school, meaning we have a lot of rodeo athletes who tend to miss school on Fridays.
For rodeo?
So we just dropped them off. Sir?
For rodeo. Did you say they're rodeo what did you say?
Yes, rodeo athletes.
Yeah, so are they missing school to go to rodeo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the number one category that they compete in, would you say?
A lot of our students are in roping. We've had a ton of graduates. This year we had one who has been recognized in his rodeo region for being an outstanding student and for being outstanding in his division. We also had a young man who graduated 2 years ago, and he was one out of qualifying for the NFR in tag out roping.
Wow. Y'all don't have any barrel racers, do you?
We have one barrel racer, and her name's Meredith Robleski, and she is an outstanding young lady. She even went homeschooled this year to mainly focus on barrel racing.
I had a friend who was married to a barrel racer, and they're supposed to be a little bit crazy, or maybe I should say spicy or spunky.
That is definitely a stereotype for a reason. It's very true.
Yeah, okay. Did she fit that?
Oh, yes.
I knew
100%.
a Robleski. I knew a Ron Robleski. I think he was like a police chief in Kemah or something. My memory fails me, but Robleski is a unique name you don't come across very often. So, and you are a sophomore?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at this point, what would you think you'd like to do when you graduate high school? I know that's a long way away.
So at this point, I either want to go into the Air Force and be an aircraft electrician, or I just want to take the path of being an electrician through Infomark, which my uncle owns part of.
Oh, that's interesting. And what is Info what?
Infomark. It's a mud management company.
I'm sorry. I got to turn my volume up. We're trying to get our volumes adjusted. Hey, what kind of management?
Mud management.
Oh, mud management. Okay. All right. And so your uncle owns part of this company?
Yes, sir.
And you think you'd have a pretty good shot at getting hired there?
Yes, sir.
You think there are very many women electricians?
I've seen more of them recently, but I know that there still aren't a ton of women electricians.
Do you have any other electricians in your family?
Yes, sir. One of my cousins, he went to college and it didn't work out, and he went straight into apprenticing, and he is now making a lot of money, and he's found something that he truly likes, and that's what made me want to be an electrician.
Well, it strikes me as one of those things, as you get older, you will come to appreciate that most people show up to an office or work from home, and at the end of the day, they don't have anything to show for it, right? If you frame houses, you can see the structure of a house, or if you pour concrete, you can see something that didn't exist before. And if you pull wire, you've got power where you didn't have it before. And it strikes me that would be a very rewarding, gratifying experience to look back and go, look what I just did.
Yes, sir. And I'm definitely someone who can't just sit behind a desk. I have to be working. I have to be doing something with my hands.
Is your last name pronounced Mickelis?
Mickelis, it's Greek.
Mickelis, okay. Oh, are you by any chance related to Kirk Mickelis?
Most likely. That's not one that I'm familiar with, but my mom actually did say that you used to eat at the restaurant that my dad and my grandpa owned, and also the restaurant that my mom and my dad owned. My dad and my grandpa owned Harry's Diner off
Oh, you're
of
kidding. Y'all own
Aggie and
that?
Turam, and my dad owned George's Diner off Washington.
Well, sure.
My cousin owns Cleburne.
Oh, George.
Yes.
Oh,
George
wow.
Nick is my cousin.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you're part of a big Greek family. So I know George. I've eaten over there many times. Fantastic. One of the nicest guys in the hospitality industry. And there are some nice guys, but he is one of the absolute nicest guys. And what they've done with Cleburne is just amazing. Harry's, I used to live a few blocks from. My wife and I used to go over there and eat breakfast back before I was on the radio, where I had to be in the office so early in the morning. I would go in there for breakfast every morning. It was fantastic. Wow. Okay, so you come from a big Greek family, which, of course, means you come from a big restaurant family. Does anybody in the family still own a restaurant?
Besides George Nick, I don't think so. My dad sadly passed away almost 4 years ago, and I think that if he could go back, he would have kept his restaurant.
And what was your dad's name?
George Harry Mickelis.
Okay. And your mom's name is?
Leslie. Originally Leslie Burr, but now she's Leslie Mickelis.
Okay, hold on. Katherine Mickelis is a sophomore at Richards High School in Richards, Texas. She's the head of the TPUSA chapter there, the Charlie Kirk chapter. So I had a friend named Kirk Mickelis, who's actually Tillman's cousin, but I can't remember how he may be Page's. I can't remember how he was related to Tillman, but he owned. What is the term that Mexicans call white people? Not güeros. Remember the bakery, Mexican bakery? Yeah, El Bolillo. Yeah, he owned El Bolillo. He had cancer. He went through a very intense round of chemo. I mean, very intense. He lost almost all of his hearing, and but he managed to beat it. And then a few years ago, it came back, and it took him down. But he lived a number of years after that. But he had those three beautiful daughters, if you remember. They were singers. They could sing their asses off. And they went to Nashville to make a go of it. And they rented a house there, and they were performing and trying to get the big. But, you know, it's like everything else. It's competitive. And they didn't quite make it. But their band name, I think, was Mickelis. Anyway, so, Katherine, how did you get involved? And I'm assuming you're probably 16, 17?
I'm 15.
15, okay. 15 as a sophomore, so you'll turn 16 at some point this year.
I turned 16 in January.
Okay. So how did you get involved with Turning Point? What was your interest? Was it television, your parents, social media? Why did you want to be a part of the bigger conversation?
Well, I've always been interested in politics, and growing up with a dad who was a legal immigrant, I've really been struck with all of the illegal immigration, and it just doesn't sit right with me. Well, my school, it's really small. A lot of the students share the same viewpoints, and we were just talking about it one day. And we were like, well, maybe we should start a little organization where we can just host little discussions where everybody can put their opinion out there. Well, a couple weeks later, I was sitting in my 8th period ag class, and our history teacher gives us an assignment called In the News, where we have to go and look up a news article, read it, and summarize it in 3 sentences. Well, I was doing that, and the news popped up across my computer that Charlie Kirk had been assassinated. I immediately gasped and started crying, and I told the rest of my class, and they all started crying. And at a small school, we have a big Christian base, and we all gathered in the middle of the classroom and started praying. And right there at that moment, I knew exactly that we weren't just going to make a group where we discuss things. We should just start a Turning Point USA.
So you reached out to the organization, and what happened?
So I reached out to the organization, and they were thrilled that such a small school wanted to start something so big. And once I got confirmation from the organization itself that we were a registered Turning Point USA chapter, then I brought it up to my principal. And at first, we all thought that she would be on the fence about it, and she was just over the moon. Yes, y'all can start it. Y'all are more than welcome to anything y'all need.
That's wonderful.
And we
What's
got
her
our
name?
teacher sponsor. Her name is Delynn Decatur.
What's that?
Delynn Decatur.
Delynn Decatur. Miss Decatur.
Yes.
And then, so you had to get a teacher sponsor, and who became your teacher sponsor?
Our science teacher.
Which is?
Mr. Brown. And he is thrilled about it. He's just thrilled to be involved in such a amazing organization.
So have y'all started meeting? What are you doing?
We have started meetings, but we've started short meetings during our break period because we're still so new. We're trying to plan community activities.
Good for you. Good for you. And your school, I got an email from a fellow named Dan Agan, and he started a charity philanthropic group called We Won't Be Silenced, or We Won't Be Canceled. And he has donated to probably 7 people we've had on the air over the last couple of years who were canceled or in some way harmed for speaking out simply their values. It would be the equivalent of, you losing your house and your job over what you're doing now. Just ridiculous stuff. And he has stepped up and helped. And he is in somewhere in Grimes County, and he knew of your school. Are y'all in Grimes County?
Yes, sir. We are right over the Montgomery County line into Grimes County.
Okay. All right. And yeah, so anyway, so he was very interested and wanted me to connect y'all with your sponsor. Because you're a minor, I wouldn't send your information, but I would, if you'll send me Mr. Brown's information, I will connect that. And he was interested in helping however he could. That's very exciting, Katherine. That's very exciting. I mean, obviously, it's still in its infancy, but the idea of involvement, the idea of taking a leadership role, and that as a young person, my kids are 18 and 19, and I still call them my kids, and I tell them they'll be my kids when they're 50. But for a young person, to see that I don't need to wait on an adult to do this, I'm going to grab the bull by the horns, and I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to find out how to make it happen. That's a great life skill. Blazing trails and taking initiative is going to help you in every aspect of your life.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you reaching out. I'm very impressed. I've heard from a number of other students, but you were the first when this whole thing started, which is why I wanted to have you on. And I find it quite inspiring, and I hope you inspire others to do exactly what you're doing. Keep up the great work, Katherine.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for all of your time, and I'll email y'all over Mr. Brown's information.
Sounds great. Thank you. I make it a practice if a minor reaches out to me that I ask that their parent get on the response email. Maybe that's overly careful, but I think it's better to be, of all the things that you can criticize someone for, I think being overly careful in that way is just probably the right thing to do. And so we always do that. But I do love hearing from young people. If you are a parent who's going to send me an email with a question for your kid, include the kid, make them write it, and just copy you on the email.
A superior waterbed.